If chosen one, this message didn't find you by accident. This is divine timing. You didn't stumble here. You were led by a higher hand, led by a calling that's bigger than your background, bigger than your current circumstances, bigger than what you even think is possible. You felt it, haven't you? The pull, the pressure, the preparation. You've always known deep down that you were set apart, and now that inner knowing is aligning with outer manifestation. This is not just about money. This is about mantle and mission. You're about to be the first in your bloodline to walk in true kingdom wealth, not just to collect riches, but to carry responsibility, to break cycles, to bless nations, to build legacies. This is your millionaire mantle moment, and it comes with more than just bank accounts. It comes with spiritual authority, generational healing, and divine assignment. Let's break it down. 7 chapters of clarity, confirmation, and calling. Before we dive deep, make sure you like, share, and subscribe, because this isn't just content. This is a divine financial awakening for the chosen ones. If your spirit feels this frequency, type 77 in the comments right now. That number isn't random. It's a sacred code, a prophetic signal to the Most High that you're aligned, alert, and ready to receive. Not just wealth, but the mantle that comes with it. This isn't just about money. It's about mission. And not everyone will make it to the end. Only those who are spiritually mature enough to carry divine prosperity with purpose. Those who stay through the fullness of this message will unlock confirmation, direction, and supernatural strategy that can shift your entire bloodline. And let me tell you, this isn't something you hear once and forget. This is a living word, full of layers, revelations, and divine instructions that will unfold every time you return. So listen closely, because with each replay you'll catch what your spirit might have missed the first time. You're not just being prepared to be the first millionaire in your family, you're being equipped to carry the mantle that wealth was always meant to fund. Let's get into it. Chapter 1. You were born with the blueprint, chosen one. Let's get one thing straight. You were never ordinary, even if life tried to label you as average, even if your surroundings screamed struggle, even if you grew up watching people fight to survive rather than live in abundance. There was something in you, something different, something divine, and no matter how much the world tried to bury it, that seed never died. It just waited for divine timing. You didn't come into this world empty-handed. You arrived with a voice whose blueprint was etched into your spirit, an invisible map designed by heaven itself, a sacred pattern, a calling that would take time to understand but couldn't be erased. This blueprint wasn't given to everyone, because not everyone could carry it. It was given to you because you were chosen. You watched money mishandled. You saw people around you abuse it, worship it, or fear it. You saw homes torn apart over lack. You heard arguments that started with unpaid bills. You witnessed people stay stuck in toxic cycles because they thought they had no other choice. And yet, deep down, you knew there had to be another way. You questioned what others accepted. You dreamed in silence. You imagined freedom while others spoke defeat, because God planted wealth in your spirit long before it showed up in your bank account. And hear this, you weren't drawn to wealth for greed. You were drawn to it for purpose, because money in the hands of the chosen is a weapon for the kingdom. You've never wanted to just make it. You've wanted to make impact, to shift atmospheres, to create opportunities, to fund visions, to break generational curses and build generational blessings. You weren't just born to live in a house. You were born to design communities. You weren't just born to receive a check. You were born to write them for people who've never known freedom. You weren't just born to escape poverty. You were born to expose it and end it in the bloodline that tried to trap you. You see, the reason money couldn't stay in your past seasons wasn't because you were cursed. It's because you were being called. You were in mantle training, not money-making. God had to prepare the character before releasing the currency. He had to teach you stewardship before he gave you scale. Because you don't just carry a vision, you carry a divine infrastructure. What others build for applause, you build from assignment. What others chase from ego, you will carry with humility. You were born with the blueprint. But now, the blueprint has met the builder, and the builder in you is not normal. You carry ancient wisdom, modern strategy, and heavenly authority. You can walk into a room and shift the atmosphere without saying a word. That's not charisma, that's the mantle manifesting. Everything that didn't make sense in your childhood, every financial trauma, every job you hated, every door that shut in your face, was all shaping your understanding of how not to handle wealth. So when it came, you'd treat it as sacred. Now the Most High is saying, I can trust you. I can trust you with wealth because you've been faithful without it. I can trust you with millions because you've tithed from crumbs. I can trust you with the mantle because you didn't sell your soul for the shortcut. Chapter 2. God let you lose to teach you stewardship, chosen one. Before the elevation came the emptiness. Before the abundance came the drought. Before the reward came the refinement. God let you walk through seasons of lack, not because he forgot you, but because he was forming you. This was never punishment, it was preparation. It was financial warfare turned into financial wisdom. You've known what it feels like to have nothing but faith. To look at your bank account and see red, but still believe for green pastures. To have bills you couldn't pay, and promises you were still praying into. To watch other people succeed with ease while you scraped, sacrificed, and stretched every single dollar. But here's the divine truth. God was never just watching. He was teaching. Every delay, every closed door, every overdraft notice was a classroom. You were in mantle training school. He was stripping off the mindset of scarcity and planting in you the principles of kingdom stewardship, because chosen ones don't just receive wealth, they reveal responsibility. God had to let you experience what happens when money is mishandled, so when he puts it in your hands, you'll handle it with honor. You had to learn that money without management is a mirage. You had to lose temporary comfort to gain eternal character. You had to realize that wealth doesn't change who you are. It reveals who you've become. And look at you now. You understand value. You no longer crave money for validation. You crave it for vision. You no longer see tithing as a burden. You see it as strategy. You've learned how to sow with intention, how to save with wisdom, how to spend with discernment, and how to invest with legacy in mind. You don't just want riches. You want relevance in the realm of purpose. You're not asking for a flashy life. You're asking for a fruitful life. A life that funds missions, a life that blesses the overlooked, a life that sends your children and your children's children into destiny fully equipped and debt-free. That's why God had to break you first. He had to remove pride, entitlement, impulse, and insecurity. Because those things can't go with you into millionaire status. They'll sabotage your future. So he lovingly let you fail small so you could win big later. You were being conditioned, trained to recognize what matters, taught to manage provision with precision, and all the while heaven was recording your responses. God watched you tithe when you only had a little. He saw you give when you needed help yourself. He noted the times you denied your flesh to stay in alignment with his voice. And now you're ready, not just to receive, but to retain, not just to acquire, but to apply what you've learned in the field of lack to the platform of overflow. You're qualified now. Not because of a degree, not because of who you know, but because you've been faithful over little. And now God is ready to make you ruler over much. You won't waste what's coming. You'll work it, you'll multiply it, you'll steward it. Because what's coming to your hands is sacred, not just for you, but for the mantle you carry. The world sees millionaires, but heaven sees something greater in you, a kingdom economist, a wealth manager for the Most High, a chosen vessel that understands money is a tool, but the mantle is the mission. And now that you've passed the test of loss, God is releasing the lesson of overflow. Chapter 3. The mantle is what makes you dangerous, chosen one. Let's make something clear. It's not the money that makes you dangerous, it's the mantle. It's the weight of heaven resting on your life. It's the authority you carry when you walk into a room and the atmosphere shifts, not because of your bank account, but because of your assignment. The enemy doesn't fear millionaires. He's seen many of them, some bought, some broken, but a millionaire with a mantle, a consecrated soul, fully aligned with God's voice, equipped with wealth and wisdom. That's different, that's divine, and that's exactly why you've been under attack for so long. You've been hit in your finances because your money has a mission. You've been hit in your identity because your name carries weight in the spirit. You've been hit in your relationships because unity with the wrong people could sabotage what God is about to build through you. You're not a threat because of what you drive. You're a threat because of where you're going. You're not a threat because of your platform. You're a threat because of your purpose. The enemy knew that once you recognized who you are, Once you realized you weren't just gifted but mantled, it would be game over for every generational curse that tried to run your family line. Because here's the truth. You don't just want the bag, you want the blueprint from heaven. You want instruction. You want insight. You want innovation that doesn't just elevate you, it liberates others. You've been forged in fire, refined in silence, tested in private. And now, what God placed on you, the mantle, is about to make public moves. It's the mantle that carries dominion. It's the mantle that gives you strategy that others can't understand. It's the mantle that lets you see trends before they form. It's the mantle that causes favor to chase you down. It's the mantle that makes demons nervous and angels move. And let's be real, the mantle is why you've never fit in. It's why you've always felt the weight of things others could ignore. It's why your conscience is sensitive, your dreams are prophetic, your discernment is sharp, and your warfare has been heavy. Because when God puts a mantle on someone, he marks them for kingdom impact, not convenience. You're not just being raised up to be wealthy, you're being raised up to be wise, holy, and powerful. To walk in boardrooms with boldness, to break chains that have lingered for generations, to speak truth that disrupts wicked systems, to fund movements that set captives free. Your money isn't for show, it's for strategic spiritual warfare. It will build safe havens. It will restore broken places. It will put food on tables, Bibles in hands, vision in motion, and justice where corruption once stood. Your mantle is dangerous to darkness because it carries the breath of God's plan. It is a mantle of multiplication, reconciliation, and restoration. And the moment your wealth and your anointing converge, the kingdom of darkness takes a loss. Chapter 4. You're not just getting wealth. You're rewriting the story, chosen one. This isn't just about a bank account. It's about a bloodline. You're not just about to be the first millionaire in your family. You're about to be the first one to do it God's way. This isn't hustling in the shadows. This isn't compromising your values for $1. This isn't selling your soul for a seat at a table God never prepared for you. This isn't manipulating people, chasing vanity, or trading peace for profit. This is kingdom elevation. This is the rise of the righteous remnant. This is prosperity that comes with purity, influence that comes with integrity, and success that comes with soul alignment. God is using you to rewrite a story that's been playing on repeat for generations. You're breaking cycles that didn't start with you, but they end with you. Cycles of lack, cycles of financial anxiety, cycles of never enough, not knowing how, and watching dreams die in the hands of debt. You saw what money mishandled can do. You saw stress eat up marriages. You saw dreams deferred. You saw people settle, shrink, and stop believing. But God raised you up as a reversal point. You are the divine disruption in your family's narrative. You're not just getting wealth, you're rewriting the blueprint. You will teach your children what you were never taught, how to honor money without worshipping it, how to create wealth without compromising their witness, how to build businesses that bless, how to invest, how to tithe, how to sow, how to grow. You'll fund their futures without guilt. You'll leave inheritances, not just instructions, and most importantly, you'll pass down principles, not just property. Because you understand now, true legacy isn't what you leave in their hands, it's what you plant in their hearts. You're breaking the curse of a poverty mentality that ran through your family like a plague. That mindset that said, we can't, we don't, we never will. It's ending now with your yes to God. You'll no longer be the one watching from the sidelines while others build. You'll be the one leading the charge, building on rock instead of sand, powered by vision instead of fear. And here's what's powerful. When you rise, you won't rise alone. You'll bring others with you. Your elevation will be a signal to your bloodline that new is possible. You'll be proof that a holy life isn't a broke life, that you can love God, walk in purity, operate in integrity, and still own land, build companies and fund causes. God is using you to show the world what righteous prosperity looks like. You are evidence that wealth and holiness can coexist when God is the source. You're about to be the first millionaire in your lineage, but you won't be the last, because the mantle on your life carries multiplication. You've been facing resistance on every side, spiritually, emotionally, even physically. People have misunderstood your silence. They've twisted your words, questioned your motives, and doubted your growth. You've encountered closed doors, unexpected delays, and a level of spiritual warfare that doesn't match the simplicity of your daily life. But that's exactly the point. The greater the calling, the greater the pressure that comes with it. The enemy doesn't attack what's irrelevant. He attacks what carries weight. And you, chosen one, are carrying something heavy. You carry legacy. You carry light. You carry the mantle that generations have prayed for. You carry the keys that unlock healing and freedom for more than just yourself. So of course the enemy is going to push. Of course there's going to be resistance. But here's what most miss. That resistance was never meant to destroy you. It was meant to reveal you. Every time you kept moving forward despite the weight, every time you chose forgiveness when bitterness was easier, every time you stayed faithful in secret with no recognition, you were proving not just to the world, but to heaven and to yourself that you're ready. You've passed spiritual tests that nobody else even saw, quiet exams of obedience, humility, and integrity, trials that built you from the inside out. You didn't just survive those moments, you qualified in them. And don't misread the closed doors either. They weren't denials, they were protections. You were never meant to settle where your soul no longer grows. You were never meant to bloom in places that couldn't recognize your roots. God allowed those connections to dry up because He didn't want your destiny to depend on their permission. He let the doors lock because He's about to build a new one for you, one that only you can walk through. And yes, it hurt. It hurt to be overlooked. It hurt to be misunderstood. It hurt to be rejected by the very people you prayed for, loved, and tried to help. But what they walked away from, heaven is now getting ready to elevate. You're not being punished. You're being promoted. You're not being abandoned. You're being assigned. You're not being overlooked. You're being redirected to the right place, the right people, the right platform where your voice will be heard, your gifts will be seen, and your spirit will be honored. Everything that came against you wasn't strong enough to break you, but it was strong enough to reveal how unshakable you've become. What once would have taken you out now only activates you. That's how you know you're ready. Resistance isn't the end of the road, it's the start of your relocation. Because God never lets warfare show up without also preparing a reward. The battle came, yes, but so is the blessing. The tension you feel right now, that's the pressure just before breakthrough. That's the spiritual confirmation that the next level is already in motion. Chapter 6. The Vision. Outgrew the vessel, chosen one, listen closely. This isn't just about a move, a job change, or a shift in scenery. This is about divine expansion. This is about destiny demanding more room. Because the vision inside you, the one that's been quietly growing, maturing, and taking shape in your spirit, has now outgrown the vessel it was planted in. God placed something in you that was never meant to stay small. Those ideas that wake you up in the middle of the night, those burdens you carry, for people, for healing, for building, for leading, that's not random. Those are divine assignments, blueprints from heaven, instructions from the throne room. And now, the container you've been trying to keep it all in, your old patterns, your old surroundings, your old relationships, your old ways of thinking, they can't hold it anymore. It's not that what you had before was bad, it served a purpose. The former vessel was necessary for the season you were in. It helped you grow, it kept you safe, it gave you foundation. But now it's become a limitation, not because it's evil, but because it's too small. Trying to force the next season of your life into the framework of your last season will only lead to frustration. Like trying to pour new wine into old wineskins, it'll burst. Because what God is doing through you now, it requires space, it requires flexibility, it requires expansion. The vision is bigger, the calling is heavier, the reach is wider, and that means the vessel has to be upgraded. This is why certain conversations feel draining now. They're too surface for the depths you're moving in. This is why certain spaces feel tight. They were never built to contain your fullness. This is why certain connections have fallen away. They were tied to your previous version, not your present identity. You're not losing your mind. You're evolving. You're awakening. You're aligning with the next dimension of your calling. And the vessel that once held your identity, your creativity, your plans, it's no longer compatible with the divine upgrade happening within you. God is not calling you to shrink, to stay in familiar places. He's calling you to stretch, into faith, into obedience, into unfamiliar territory. Because what He's about to do through you cannot be contained by yesterday's limitations. This relocation is more than physical. It's emotional, mental, spiritual. God is shifting your surroundings to match the scale of your assignment. He's placing you in an environment where your vision won't be ridiculed. It will be resourced. Where your gifts won't be hidden, they will be highlighted. Where your voice won't be silenced, it will be heard with power and purpose. And yes, it feels uncomfortable, because stepping into a new vessel means letting go of the one you were once familiar with. It means trusting that what's ahead, even though it's unknown, is greater than what you're leaving behind. Chapter 7. The new place is already prepared. Chosen one, you may not have all the details right now. You may be walking with more questions than answers, more faith than facts. But here's the truth your spirit needs to absorb fully. You are not stepping into chaos, confusion, or uncertainty. You are stepping into what heaven has already prepared. God didn't wake up today and decide to shift your life. This move was ordained before you were formed in your mother's womb. The path is already cleared. The space is already sanctified. The doors are already unlocked. You're not going to a place that needs to be built. You're going to a place that's already waiting. You just had to grow into the version of yourself that could sustain the blessing. You had to shed old identities. You had to heal wounds that would have leaked into your next season. You had to develop discipline, character, humility, wisdom, and discernment. You had to be processed for what has already been promised. Nothing was wasted. Every delay was preparation. Every disappointment was divine redirection. Every silent season, every betrayal, every time you felt forgotten, all of it was God shaping you for the space you're about to step into. Because the next level doesn't just require talent, it requires depth. And now you carry it. The move isn't random, it's strategic. This is your exodus moment, out of bondage, out of stagnation, out of generational limitation, out of labels that no longer fit, out of environments that saw your potential but still treated you like your past, out of everything that tried to contain what God was growing inside of you. This is not a demotion. This is not punishment. This is not abandonment. This is divine promotion. Heaven has gone ahead of you. Your name has already been whispered in rooms you haven't even entered. Your face has been shown in visions to people assigned to help you. Your gifts have already been requested by those who don't even know you, but they feel you coming. The new place will recognize your anointing. The atmosphere will respond to your obedience. The resources, the relationships, the opportunities, they are divinely timed and spiritually aligned. You are not showing up to figure things out. You're showing up to step into alignment. You are being relocated not to escape, but to reign. This is territory you were born to occupy, land your ancestors prayed for, doors they could only dream of, tables they were never invited to, now pulling out a seat with your name on it. And you don't have to manipulate your way in. You don't have to force a thing. You don't have to perform to be accepted. You simply have to show up in your full truth, because the place is ready. The gate has already been opened. The oil has already been poured. And the crown, the one that fits this version of you, is already waiting. This isn't just relocation. This is inheritance. This is the manifestation of years of obedience, surrender, spiritual warfare, and unwavering faith. So walk forward, not with fear, not with hesitation, not with second guessing. Walk forward with